Hey, it's good to be with everybody. Sorry to keep you waiting. Actually, there's three good announcements. Ridership is up as well over the prior year. In an environment where gas prices went down very substantially, for ridership to go up actually bucks the trend that we've normally seen in Connecticut. So we're very proud of the services that we're providing here, proud that people are responding and using those services, and in many senses taking some pressure off of other methods of transportation. The other two things that we do want to announce is that Connecticut, beginning on Monday, is rolling out a new app. And that app will allow our customers to purchase their tickets online, to demonstrate those online to the conductor, as well as to check the status of trains and garner additional information. We believe that this will make the experience better, faster, shorten lines at kiosks, shorten lines for live personnel. So we're going to encourage all of our passengers, our regular passengers, to install that app. It's readily available. Someone's going to demonstrate it for you in a few minutes, right? Somebody, I believe, because you don't want to depend on me. We just think it will greatly improve the relationship between our customers and ourselves in the state of Connecticut, and make it easier for people to know where their train is, to follow it in some senses with respect to its on-time availability, as well as pay for that ticket. So it's an exciting availability on our line. And secondly, we want to announce that we are listening to our customers, and as a result of listening, we have installed an additional 190 bike racks available to train users. Now, this is not for prime commutation periods. We're not encouraging people to bring their buses during the period of time when we have large crowds on the platforms. Having said that, however, much of the rest of the day and evening is not in that prime period of time, and we want to encourage people to bring their bikes to the train. So an additional 190, meaning that really every train will have availability for bike racking on that train, and that's an exciting announcement as well. Who's going to? You're going to. You know, they told me your name. I forgot it. I messed up. Oh, I got it. Delana. Yes. Delana Glenn from Metro North will now show you the app, and then we'll take some questions.
Well, first of all, I just want to walk you through briefly.
Fast, get out of the way, will you?
How the app works. So customers will download the app from either the Apple Store or the Android Store, whichever phone they have, and then when they have the app on their phone, first time they open it up, they will get an opening screen, and they will be able to choose whether or not they want to buy a ticket or they want to go to train time. We'll talk about train time a little bit in a second. So once you select buy ticket, it will come up with all the station pairs that you can choose from. Right now, this doesn't show the New Haven station pairs. They actually go live 4:30 a.m. Monday morning. All of the New Haven stations will be listed as well. And the customer will choose the station pairs that they want for the ticket that they're going to buy.
I got it.
And then they will choose the ticket type. 10 trip, monthly, one way, whatever ticket type it is they want to buy, they choose the ticket type. And then once they choose the ticket type, they will go on to selecting credit, debit card. The first time that they download the app, they will have to enter their account information, like on all other apps you have where you pay for things. You have to enter your account information that first time. Once you enter your account information, it's there. You select which account you're going to pay from, and then the transaction is successfully completed. The few features that I just want to mention is that on the first page where it said buy ticket or go to train time, Train Time is the app that allows you to find out what time the train is, what track it's leaving from. You can get all that information. So you don't have to go to a separate app. You just press right there. And once you buy a ticket, you can figure out what your train time is and where you get your train from. Just prior to boarding the train, you will click on your wallet, the ticket you just bought, or the ticket you bought a week ago, to activate the ticket. Once you activate the ticket, it shows up on your phone just like a ticket. It's a ticket. You activate it, press activate, and then those colored bars show up on the top of the ticket. Those colored bars are the fraud prevention, so that those bars change, they move, they shift. Wendy's going to actually show you all on the phone a live ticket so that you can see how those bars move and shift and the colors change, so that the conductors know when it's a valid ticket. You can click on your ticket info tab and it will give you a summary of your ticket. Probably after the customers use it 1 or 2 times, that summary will be filled with all the tickets that they bought, and they can look up and look for summary, the history, for how much money they've spent on tickets to date. And in the utilities menu, there are also helpful media tools. You can go to social media, you can send messages, you can have help so that you can access any information you may need if you're confused about how to use the app. Okay, you're welcome.
So a system that has an app for you, a system that has bike racks for you, and a system that's seen a 1.9% growth rate in 15 over 14 is what we celebrate today, as we also engage in additional modernization efforts on an ongoing basis. With that, we'll take questions on point, and then we'll handle some others.
I know that some of the ticket booths are being eliminated down the line. This is obviously saving money. The user gets benefit with some sort of discount?
Absolutely, they get to use our trains. No, there's no. Same as a kiosk. We have lots of kiosks, and it's the same pricing structure. Whatever the pricing structure will be represented. Two stations. Yeah.
There are 2 stations in Fairfield County, Greenwich, and what's the other one? I forget. There's 2 stations. They also have ticket vending machines there, so it's just the windows that are closing, and we're doing that with this application coming, so in fact there's more service rather than less. Okay. All right. Bridgeport.
But there are kiosks available. Yep. Well,
Same policies apply. You still have your ticket, you buy on board. Because you haven't done it ahead, then you'll have the same onboard issues. No. Yes.
Now I'm going to bring up the spot. Conductor comes up to me, I don't have a ticket, and I go, give me a minute, let me buy one right now. Can I do it?
Sure, and pay the onboard price.
Wait, it would be the onboard price because you have to pay for the specific time frame?
No, well, if your ticket is activated and you just bring it up, that's fine. It'll be there.
If you've done it beforehand, it's activated. So if you're activated, you want to come on? We've got an expert for you, Max. Yeah.
Early, with a credit or debit card on board. Early on, we want to encourage customers to download the app and have the app available prior to getting on the train and purchasing their ticket. But we know this is new. People will be new, so we'll have a little bit of flexibility early on. But we don't want customers to wait until they see a conductor to say, okay, I'm going to get the app and then I'm going to download a ticket, because that will just interfere. And I know on some of the New Haven trains, you see it's difficult to get through the train anyway. So if you have to wait for someone to download an app, download a ticket, then the conductor's going to have a difficult time getting through the train. So early on, we have a lot of information that we'll be putting out there starting on Monday, and we'll be following up later in the week. Car cards, tear-offs to hand out to customers, signs in stations and kiosks, so that customers will understand what the rules and regulations are of using the app.
Why does it take so long for an app? I mean, apps have been available for 5, 6 years now. How come it took till 2016? System-wide, not just
Well, there has been a rollout of this on an ongoing basis, and is really the answer to that. And this is our time to move. And what we believe is that it will. And by the way, we are the biggest of the railroad lines in the system. So it made system to roll it out on easier lines before it got rolled out here. Now we're ready to do it. It will be of most use to kind of get to the heart of what you're asking. folks who use the train once in a while may not ever download the app. But if you're using a monthly ticket or a 10 trip ticket, this makes a lot of sense. Do you know what the percentage is on the other lines yet?
On the Hudson and Harlem line, in 1 month of usage, we've had 2.7% of revenue sales and 1.6% of tickets, which goes to the governor's point. Mostly monthly ticket holders are downloading, which is the higher percentage of revenue, but just tickets at 1.6. And it's only been available for monthly purchase for the last month, because the first month we did it towards the end of the month. So we think that it will ramp up. Our business case said probably 5% in the first year.
How do you think double payments, like some people use cash and check for their monthly or Connecticut, late work?
They can put as many accounts in as they want.
Yeah, you can have multiple accounts, and obviously this is a transition to this system. So we don't believe everyone's going to transition instantly, but they will do it, but you can have multiple accounts. Anybody else on point? Okay. Sure.
Commissioner Redeker, can you tell us, with regard to the expansion plans here at the Union Station, there's been a complaint that there hasn't been enough community input. I believe that some group is having an event tonight to explain that to us. Our governor.
Yeah, I think I'll handle it. Listen, we've been anxious to build a additional garage here. It's apparent that we're having difficulty reaching an agreement with the community, and ultimately, if the community doesn't want a garage built, that's their call. We're trying to build a garage. This is not intended to be an economic development effort. There is a large economic development effort on the other side of the street. And so we'll work with the community, but this project keeps getting delayed. Well, the immediate lots, this lot, the parking garage adjacent is filled, although there are spaces available, but the monthlies are sold. There are upwards of about 270 folks on the list at any given time. That doesn't mean that they're without parking spaces, because there are private lots as well. And obviously we have an open air lot adjacent to.
Down the line, people waiting.
Right.
So are you saying that even though you can try to work it out with the community, but if they're insisting if you want an economic project, you're not really open to that?
Well, yeah, I think that's what we're saying. Yeah, I think what we're saying is we're trying to build a garage. We've been trying to build a garage, and at some point you get frustrated over the project, and if it needs to wait to some other time while they work out what their wish list is, so be it.
So you're not open to redesigning the garage? That's essentially what they want.
But we're open to doing the things that are necessary to park cars.
So it doesn't need a redesign, is that
No,
right?
listen. I think I think there's. I've been involved in discussions with the mayor. I've been involved in discussions with other groups. I know there's a large housing and park development across what is a very wide street. I think that's a great area to put additional shopping opportunities, additional park opportunities, and the like. What we've signed on in the state is to build a parking facility, and what we're being asked to look at is building lots of other things along with that, and I'm not sure we're prepared to do that. And I think people ultimately have to make a decision. Jacking up? Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a very expansive plan to build out a modern rail system as well as a modern road system, and that presents certain demands on an operational basis, and so we have to have the right balance of how we raise the monies necessary to sustain the systems in an environment where a large segment or a large portion of our income is coming from is shrinking.
Understands that it costs a lot to run the system. You get only 21 to 25% of your money from the fares. That feels also going to be borne by society at large, not by bus riders who are moving.
I think it has to be borne by the users and society at large, and you really just answered your question. We are subsidizing that between 80 and 79%.
Sorry, Governor, how can you say that a large portion of your income is reducing this amount when an increase in money?
Because we're talking about a broader transportation program. So these things are not done absent of one another. They are interconnected. And much of our transportation dollars come from a fuel tax, and people are using substantially less fuel. And as the price of the fuel has gone down, so has the revenue very, very precipitously.
Last question, Governor.
When do you,
The second call center is closed for recent weeks, this AAA call center. But with the unemployment numbers, what do you say about what's going on with jobs in the state?
Well, we've seen in the last 12 months over 20,000 jobs created in the state of Connecticut, which is a pretty good number. So good that people are coming back into the job market even faster than we've experienced in the past. So I think on the overall side of that equation, it's good news. Listen, I don't know the intricacies of AAA's need. AAA does a bunch of businesses, one of which is the insurance business. And I can tell you, having a brother who's in the insurance business, folks are doing a lot more online than ever before. And so it just may simply be related to changes in the marketplace. Okay, you guys are shouting over one. I want to be respectful, so say it because I missed it. No, I know, but I got, but I can't, but you can't. I missed the whole portion that was. All right.
What are your thoughts on the 25th anniversary of the passage and implementation of the income tax this weekend in London?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's you know, it is where we are. We have a state income tax. We would not be able to support the level of services, particularly in the arena of things like transportation, without an appropriate tax system. And so like every anniversary, you have one, and the next day you're past your anniversary.
I can tell you that I spoke with Governor Riker yesterday. He is of the opinion, no criticism to you, that there have been too much increases in the past administration's spending, and that's the reason you're in such a jam.
Well, I think that's a reality. The spending increases during my administration are substantially smaller on a year-to-year basis than they have been under the prior administrations that I followed. That's just a reality. It's not a reality that's appreciated by the broader community, but it is a reality.
The DDS, the privatization of the group home DDS that you announced the other day. Two questions. One, is that a harbinger of further privatization to come? And two, does this open any further discussions between you and the unions about the direction to take?
Well, so Paz, let me just drill down a little bit so that everybody has a context. When I became governor, about 15% of the folks being cared for directly by DDS were in homes that were operated by the state, meaning that 85% were being operated by not-for-profits and community providers. Since I became governor, the number that have been in state facilities has dropped to 10%, meaning that more people are being cared for in those other run facilities, and there's been some decline in some of the uses of regional facilities as well that have remained open, although they only are filling about half the beds. So we're just accepting economic reality of where we are and our need to find savings in the budgets, as well as to eliminate excess beds, quite frankly, not unlike what's going on in the hospital, our nursing home industry. Oh, I'm sorry. And the second part of it,
the union tried to, has this prompted the unions to engage you in a discussion about what is coming next or what should come next?
well, You know, listen, we have conversations from time to time. You know that just about every state contract with respect to wages and work rules is open, and none of them have settled. I think everybody knows where the state is and other states in the surrounding area are with respect to their budgetary requirements. And do we have a resolution? The answer is no.
So, Governor, how quickly do you need an agreement with New Haven to move ahead with the garage in a timely fashion?
Listen. I've been desirous of building a parking garage in New Haven from the first day I was elected. We're now approaching year 6, and if we're not if we can't find an agreement to build it, then it will, then it won't be built. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. I understand they get frustrated with us. I suppose to some extent, I'm expressing frustration with the process. I have wanted to fast track this effort from day one. We're ready to go, largely ready to go, but we're not going to undertake projects that we did not originally envision. We don't see this as an economic development. We see it as a development of a parking facility. Okay? Thank you.